We are now in Week 15, Packers fans, and this means we're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home in Green Bay on Sunday. Should be a good game, a very important game for playoff implications for both teams, as the Tampa Bay, if they win, will go a long way to help trying to secure that crappy division, and the Packers will be able to stay in the playoff race. Regardless, should be a huge game, lots to go over, but let me know what you think of the video down below, and let's get right into it. Well, now we have the news that A.J. Dillon will not be playing because he broke his thumb during the Giants game, which is very unfortunate. Fortunately, it sounds like Aaron Jones should be ready to go. We'll see. And, I mean, they did pick up Kenyon Drake and see what happens with that. But Jordan Love's going to have to be better in this game for sure. Playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, who was a very blitz-heavy defense, and it's got to be ready to pick that up and get some yards because last week was terrible. And although Jordan Love didn't have the worst game in the world, it wasn't very great. After a string of very nice performances, it would be nice for him to pick it back up in this one. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a huge game for sure. Baker Mayfield, of course, quarterback for the Tampa Bay, should be ready to go as well. Rachaad White is a great, versatile running back, a very underrated one, to be honest. I feel like nobody ever talks about Rachaad White, but he's quietly becoming one of the better running backs in the league, taking over an Austin Eckler-style role, especially now that Austin Eckler seems to be just done. Yeah, the Chargers are looking really nice for not giving him a lot of money, but we'll see what happens with the Packers. Hopefully Christian Watson is able to play. That'd be nice. We don't know. I mean, we know he's as soft as a piece of toilet paper, it seems, but give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he will be able to play this week. Defense just has to be better. I mean, that was the biggest part of last week. Their defense just fell apart and made Tommy DeVito look like the second coming. Just made him look like Colin Kaepernick reborn, and that's never a good thing because we all know Colin Kaepernick is a giant piece of crap. But we'll see what happens. Joe Barry still probably coaching for his coaching career. Even if they make the playoffs, still, I just don't expect him to be back. But then again, the Packers don't like to fire defensive coordinators that are bad. They seem to just hang around for a long time, but we'll see what happens here. I think the Packers have a good shot of winning for sure, but regardless, it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be an easy game by any means. Yes, there are a lot of the teams that Packers play going forward are under 500 or at 500, but still, it's, as we saw on Monday against the Giants, there's no cupcake teams in the league, and you can never point any team out as bad because any coach worth their salt will be prepare their team saying that we have nothing, we have no chance, but let's show them. And the Giants showed the Packers on Monday night for sure. Jordan Love is going to have to be good. Cut down on the interceptions. We had one last week, but still, it was a big interception. It just with the way the night was going, I mean, the Packers still had a chance to win last week, of course. But again, like I was saying, their defense failed them last week, especially at the end. The Giants should not have been able to move down the field that quickly, that fast. For sure not. And we'll see what happens. I like the Packers to win. Maybe 24-21, but it's going to be a hardly fought battle for sure. I can't say that it's going to be an easy game because, like I said earlier, Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is no joke. They don't have all the players they used to have, but they still do have players. And although they have injuries left and right, hopefully for them, Godwin is able to play. We all know how dangerous Mike Evans is and what he's done to the Packers in the past, so definitely be ready for that. Maybe Jair Alexander could play. Maybe, just maybe, but who knows? He seems to be really soft as well. And I know I've never played professional football, of course, but let's be honest, some of these players, they get their money, and then all of a sudden, an injury just holds them out constantly, week after week after week. Hopefully, the Packers' injuries can cut down a little bit and we can get some more key players back, because as much as this is an evaluation year for the Packers, it still would be a nice feather in the cap for the Packers to make the playoffs. It would just be totally not in everybody's bingo card at the beginning, although I would like to remind those who have seen my videos in the past that I said they do have a chance to make the playoffs this year. Even as young as they are, they have the pieces there. Jordan Love is not the greatest quarterback in the world, but he is serviceable to above average, so give him props for what he's done. And if Aaron Jones can return and be somewhat of the player he used to be, that would certainly go a long way. I mean, there's no A.J. Dillon, so Aaron Jones should have the lion's share of the carries if he's able to play. And then mix in Kenyon Drake in there, or Patrick Taylor. Patrick Taylor was really good last week at times, getting a couple good, nice runs towards the end of the game to help them spur on that mini comeback that, of course, still ended in a loss, but it was a nice change of pace. But Packers, I think, will win. But if they lose, it wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't surprise me if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go on to make the playoffs after this win and the past couple wins they've had. But let me know what you think of the game down below. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Let me know if the Packers still have a chance to make the playoffs, because they're still in the thick of things. They're still ahead of a lot of teams. They're still ahead of the Seahawks. They're still ahead of the Rams. They're still ahead of the Saints because they beat them, like they beat the Rams as well. And as long as the Packers can win like the next 3 out of 4 games, they should be good for the playoffs. But we can't rest on our laurels and just expect the Packers to make the playoffs. I know a lot of Packer fans out there still don't think they can do it, but I think they can. We've seen what they can do the past couple weeks, and yes, despite the loss on Monday, they were still in the game for most of it, and they still kept them in it, despite the defense at times looking really awful and Jordan Love not being sharp at all. He's just going to have to be sharp in this one, because with the Bucs being able to, the second blitz-heavy team in the league, they're going to be going after him like nobody's business. And I guess another thing I'd like to add about the Packers defense is it's going to have to get a sack on Baker. I mean, last week, devito, it seemed like, escaped the blitz like 7 or 8 times. Like, they were totally on him, and all of a sudden just slipped right out. And Baker Mayfield does have some mobility, so he might be able to escape such plays as well. So they're just going to have to be firm and sharp and ready to actually get the sack when they have the opportunity, because they had many opportunities last week, and a couple of sacks last week would have gone a long way to helping the Packers win the game. Especially at the end of the game, if they get one sack on that final drive, there's no more time for them to come back and get that field goal. All it takes is just a couple key sacks here and there, a couple key defensive plays, and the whole trajectory of the game can completely change. And the Packers have not been the best at making defensive game changers this year, but this will be a golden opportunity to. We know who Baker is. We know he can be turnover happy at times. He has had a serviceable season for sure. Not the best in the world, but he's not total crap either. It's just probably not what the Buccaneers expected to get when they brought him in this year, but it should be a great game. I can't wait to see it. It is in Lambeau, so that place is going to be rocking as always. Wish I could be there, because it would be a nice game to go to, but let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen, and have a great day. God bless. Go Pack Go.